At the table. Hey, we at the table.
Yes, honey, we are here. Finally, we are here at the table. Welcome to Women at the Table, being brought to you by, yes, my baby Tainty of Life. And I have some incredible women on the panel today. And I'm so glad that you ladies decided to join me. First of all, I am your host, Veronica. Where my bell? You know, I'm so used to fatigue. I give my own self a bell. So, yes, I'm your host, Veronica, and I have some special ladies, as I said, with me today on Women at the Table. So, I'm going to let you ladies introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to get into it. All right, so I'll start on my right.
Start with me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Karan. I am a native of Darlington, and basically, I'm a social worker. I'm a mom. I am just an all-around, well-rounded person. I appreciate the opportunity for being a guest on the Tainty of Life, and I'm looking forward to what's going to take place.
Of course, glad to have you. And to my left, good start with you, Tasha.
My name is Tasha Jackson, and I'm from Hartsville, South Carolina. I am married. I have two children and one grandchild and one grandpup. And I'm just excited to be here on tonight with these lovely young ladies. And I am ready to discuss the sisterhood, these relationships, and these different things. So I hope you guys are ready as well.
Come on, honey. Come on. We are ready. I'm so hyped. Let me bring it down.
Hi, I'm Patricia Baker. I'm from Darlington. I'm good friends with Veronica. Know all the ladies at the table. I'm looking forward to a good conversation, good discussion about these men. That's waiting. That's waiting. That's waiting to see what we have to say. So let's talk.
Come on, bring it. I love that. I love it. And I am Veronica. Most of you know me who follow us on Tainty of Life. For those of you who are new, I'm Veronica. I'm born here in Darlington, South Carolina. Which camera am I? The middle, I think. Yes, right here in Darlington, South Carolina. I work for Cumulus Broadcasting. I am the owner of Hip Hop Fitness with Veronica. I have classes throughout the week. We'll talk about that later. Maybe y'all can come join me and get fit. All right. Oh, shameless plug. That was not. But yeah, so glad that you all are joining us on this Saturday. I know that you guys could be somewhere doing something else on this beautiful Saturday, but you decided to hang out with us right here on the podcast. So thank y'all so much. And let me throw this out here right now because you ladies come in like y'all going to
Take you to the line.
the missionaries meeting, and I'm sitting here looking like I'm sitting here looking like
Looking good.
thank y'all. I'm just saying, you know, I had to have my shoulders out. Not a thing. All right, so thank you. But once again, thank y'all so much. I'm excited to have y'all here, the first women at the table. It's something that was on my heart for a while that I wanted to do, and so it's time. So we are here, and we're getting ready to talk about some things. You know, going to talk about everything. Tainty of Life is real. This is where we keep it real. So I expect the same thing tonight. Like I said, if we don't agree on something, we just don't agree on it. And there's no need for us. We don't have to like, oh,
Right.
yeah, I agree with you. You know, if you don't agree, you don't agree. So first of all, I do want to kick it off by saying that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we do have two ladies on the panel that can speak on both of those issues. So really quick, we just gonna take a moment and Patricia, I can start with you.
Actually, three.
Well,
Tasha.
Tasha is in the medical field as well. So yeah, if y'all want to hit up on just a brief moment of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, talking to the ladies what they need to do to take care of it. Go ahead, 'cause that's not my field, so I'll start with you all.
Well, of course, as you know, one of the most important things that you can do is make sure you do your self-breast examination. And, if you find anything that's not supposed to be there, any lumps, like any lumps, any mass, you see any redness, any swelling, any type of those things, then, that's your sign that you probably need to get to the doctor. You need to make sure you get your mammograms every year. And just speaking from experience, I had a mass in my left breast, and I went to the doctor, and of course I had undiscovered it, but she also discovered it as well. And when I went to the doctor to have a mammogram with the hospital to have a mammogram, they end up doing an ultrasound. To make a long story short, end up having a biopsy, having it removed. Thank God it was benign. And but had I just ignored it and not went to the doctor and not had my mammogram, I don't know what it could have turned into. And one of the things I will say that has been suggested and been recommended to me is that I have 3D ultrasound mammograms. And when you have those 3D mammograms, they actually can pick up on things that just a regular mammogram don't pick up. So that is one thing that I would definitely recommend, especially if you know that you have dense breasts. That is something I would definitely recommend, and definitely recommend you having your yearly mammogram.
Thank you, Tasha.
Okay, and I just want to reiterate what Tasha just said. Always do your self-breast check. When you're in the shower, just check, look, make sure that there's not something that looks different, that was not there the day before. Check the size, make sure that one is not larger than the other, because that could be a sign. And I also want women to be aware of, there are services out there for the underinsured or uninsured. Best Chance Network, they offer mammogram assistance, they offer pap smears. So, it's not about just the mammograms, it's also about pap smears. We need to take care of ourselves. So again, Best Chance Network, if you want to look it up, Google Best Chance Network. They help with the pap smear, mammograms, HPV, follow-ups. So if you don't have insurance, let that not be an excuse not to get your yearly exams. So,
Thank you. Some good information on there. So ladies, make sure you be aware of the signs and make sure that we are taking care of our bodies and getting checked for any kind of lumps or anything in our breasts. And also men can also
That's right.
get breast cancer. So men, you have to be aware of that as well. So now we want to talk about domestic violence really quick. Karan, that's in your field, so we'll throw it over to you.
Okay, really briefly, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is also in October. So this is a lifelong thing. This is a social justice issue, but they have chosen October to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it's basically, you spend the whole entire month raising awareness on what domestic violence is, what domestic violence is not. And the national color for Domestic Violence Awareness Month is purple. And so what you're doing is basically learning what is domestic violence. Is it just physical? Is it emotional abuse? Is it financial abuse? Is it verbal abuse? And what it's not. And basically, it just teaches you how to identify domestic violence. It teaches you how to identify inner partner violence. It teaches you the effects of this on the individual as well as the family. And it helps you to be informed, to raise awareness. That way you'll be better informed, better equipped to help others. And the national hashtag or slogan is everyone knows one. And so even if you don't know what to do, the best thing to do is reach out to your local victim service providing organization to and refer them, the individual that you know that may be in one. If you're not sure, you can reach out yourself to gain more knowledge and information to help better assist those that you encounter that may be in a domestic violence relationship. And so that's basically, what this month is all about: raising awareness, educating our people, because we know that if we're uninformed, we're uneducated, we're not equipped to help anyone. So it's better to become equipped, ask the questions that you need to know, and so that you can help yourself or someone else.
Great information. Thank you so much, Ron. And I don't know how to,
So, Veronica.
thank you, Patricia. Go ahead.
Let us know how we can take care of ourselves with health and fitness, since that's your field.
Okay, so great question. Health and fitness. We all know that our health is very important, and we need to exercise at least, I say 3 times a week, whether it's 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Everybody needs to get their hearts going and moving, and the more you sit around, the more that your body is going to get stiff and lazy. And that's what I tell my class on Mondays, my senior class. Like, you have to get up, you have to move. You just do not let the Monday class be your only time where you're working out. You have to get out, you have to move, whether it's, going to the rec center and walking around and, at a local park or whatever. You must move your body. So staying in shape, eating right food, and just, doing things to stay healthy is so important to our health, and it can prevent a lot of health issues by exercising. Exercising is good for stress, a stress reliever, and all sorts of things. So make sure that you're getting your workouts. Like I said, 15, 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, or whatever, as long as you are moving. So thank you, Patricia, for that.
Thank you for that wonderful response.
You're welcome. All right. So anything else in the lines of that?
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about how a lot of times it's hard to move physically because you are mentally drained.
Yes.
So let's kind of talk about how sometimes life troubles, life issues, relationship problems, money problems, just problems, how sometimes it can just drain you and overwhelm you. Sometimes the most you can do is get out of your bed and do your reasonable service, the things you got to do. I got to work, okay, but we got to make money, let alone I'm making time to go to the gym.
Right.
So that mental health part, even though the gym helps your mental health, your mental health got to be in a place where you have to be mentally healthy to say, you know what, the gym is priority.
Yes. And then we go through so much as women, a lot of times we don't put ourselves first. We put the family first, we put the man first, we put the kids first, we put that job first, and then we come last. You know what I'm saying? So that is a lot of stress on us when it comes to life. We as women, because we want to be that supportive when it comes to everything and everybody. We want to be the one that they can lean on.
The nurturer.
So it's a lot of stress, and I'm glad you brought that up, because it is a lot of stress when it comes to that. And then we're looking at ourselves like, what about me? Like, when I'm gonna make time for me? Right. That's why I try to get massages. That I get my eyebrows arched. I don't so much do the nails and the toes and stuff, but I do try to make time, and I had to learn that because at one point I was just going, and not like taking time for me. Like clockwork. Yeah. So now I have that mindset, like, stop, breathe. You have to take time for yourself.
But when you have a family and that's your focus. And when you have kids, you have a husband at home.
Yeah.
You are at work, you think about what we're going to eat today.
Right.
And then cleaning up, homework. Which I don't have those problems anymore, but some people do. So we do put ourselves last, and we have to learn to put ourselves ahead of everybody else, because we need that time too. Everybody else is living stress free, and we're running stressed out.
Okay.
And they wonder why we're in bed moving.
Yeah,
Right.
Grumpy. How do you? My question is, good point. How do you do that? Put yourself first and not feel guilty. Not feel like you're neglecting everybody else. But in all actuality, you're really not. But the one time you choose you in a unselfish way. It's like you feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
So how do you rid yourself of that guilt?
Listen, I've been there. Go ahead, Tasha.
Well, as for me, I begin to use the word no.
No, no.
Yeah, I just begin to use the word no. And not only that, you have to set boundaries. And you have to set boundaries when it comes to your family, when it comes to your children, even when it comes to your spouse, because you need that me time. And so there are days and there are times that you're gonna have to say, no, I can't go, no, I can't do, no, I can't make it. And it's not that you don't want to be there. It's not that you don't want to be a part. It's not that you don't want to be mom, you don't want to be wife. It's not that you don't want to be these things, because that's who you are anyway. But at the end of the day, just like we said, you put yourself, we constantly put ourselves on the back burner, and we don't do these things, and oh, I was going to do this, or I was going to do that, and I had this appointment, and you canceling these appointments because you're trying to make sure everybody else get where they need to be. They do things that they need to do. And a lot of times as parents, especially as mothers, you feel guilty.
Right.
And kids, they'll try to make you feel guilty.
Make you guilty.
Yeah. Well, Mom, I had to be and they'll do stuff like that, and you try to make you feel guilty, but you got to understand, you got to realize, look, this is my time.
Right.
I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
Today is about me, or whatever. And you just have to get in that place where you don't feel guilty. It's just going back to what you said about mindset. It's just a mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Tasha, what about going to bed at 9:30? Your husband wants to go to bed at 9:30. Tasha, let's go to bed at 9:30. Victor?
My husband go to bed at 9:30.
That's it.
Okay, good night,
That's
baby.
it.
We get in the bed at 9:30.
Okay. So you, when he says let's go to bed, you going to bed.
Yeah, I'm with 9 times out of 10. I thought like he say 9 o'clock. That's fine with me. And I guess I say that because I'm an early bird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now I say that because I'm an early bird. So 9 o'clock, 9:30 is fine with me, especially I don't work all day. I'm mentally drained. I'm mentally tired. So that sounds good to me, or whatever. So I mean, 9:30, I honestly don't have a problem with it.
That's diversity though, because the Baker household looks different from, what's your last name?
Jackson.
The Jackson household looks different from my household, and so 9:30 is heaven to you.
Yeah.
It's like that's words of life. You like, shoot, let's go. But as for me, I'm like, I still got stuff to do. I still gotta help this boy with his homework. I still gotta pack lunch. I still gotta watch something on Netflix. And that's one of those things that teaches us, like, don't try to be like the Joneses. It helps you say, you know what, don't compare your household to the next person's household.
Right.
Because what works for you might not work for me.
Exactly.
If I'm really, really drained, I'm not trying. I would go to bed early, but if I go to bed early, here I am at 2 o'clock in the morning looking crazy. Like, okay, what now? And then when it's time to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm looking like, oh, I'm tired. So now I'm groggy.
Right.
Now everybody got to feel it.
So going back to what Patricia's saying, because she's trying to make a point here. So if your man tells you, let's go to bed.
This is our set time every night.
Sounds like domestic
I go to
violence.
bed, you go to
stronger than that.
Now, I don't know about all that. Now, when you start, now when you put it that way, yeah, when you put it that way, now that's a totally different ball game. Now, you trying to be controlling at this point, and telling me, no. I don't know about that one, Patricia.
Okay.
So I want to get to something that Karan posted, since we're talking about husbands, boyfriends, men. Okay, so I want to get to a post that you posted a few weeks ago, Karan, and it caused a lot of so it went like this. Let me make sure I'm right. You posted a quote from, I believe that it was a pastor, and it read,
As a husband.
let's be clear. The man is not the head of the household. The husband is. Women don't submit to boyfriends that's unproductive. I felt a certain way. I must say that I kind of disagree with that. But I want you, I was gonna call you Fatine, Lord, because I'm always arguing with him. Karan, break that down for us. How did you take that?
I'm visual, so I will kind of get it in front of me. But from what I can remember, it's all about your beliefs. It's all about your experience. It's personal beliefs, whatever your beliefs come from. I believe that's what it's about. And for me, when I posted it, I understood where he was coming from. Number one, by him being a pastor. Number one, by him being a husband. I understood, that was coming from a place of, number one, a husband, not where he wanted to be. He's already a husband, not coming from it. And clearly, he was her boyfriend, or her partner before he became her husband. And clearly, by him being a pastor, he was coming from a biblical perspective. And so I believe that the husband is the head of the household after God. Those are my beliefs. Why? Because I understand. I'm not going to go into detail. I understand that. They already said it's going to be churchy, so I'm not going to make it churchy. But, however, I have to stand on my beliefs. Now, do you respect in the dating stage, do you respect that man? Yes, you do. Do you honor that man? Yes, you do. That man, to me, it's his ability to show that he can lead me, he can protect me, he can guide me. He's not going to lead me down the wrong path, the wrong direction. I'm not talking about just financial. I'm talking about mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially. And let's be real, financially too, because that's where a lot of problems come in marriages. The money looking funny. You know what I mean? And so I understood where Pastor Fred Jones was coming from, and I agree wholeheartedly. It doesn't mean that the woman has to disrespect the man, her boyfriend. Doesn't mean that she has to dishonor him, belittle him, make him feel less than. It doesn't mean it meant exactly what he said that it meant. And I guess whenever you have a certain mindset, you know how to process certain things. I believe a lot of people process that from a place of offense, or from a place of lack of knowledge, or from a different, spiritual beliefs.
Yeah.
I think certain people process it from where they were. Nobody doesn't make anybody right, doesn't make anybody wrong. You can just respectfully disagree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because my whole take on that, when I looked at the post, the way I viewed it is I wasn't getting on how do you supposed to let your boyfriend, how do you know that your boyfriend qualifies or good enough or whatever the word may be to be a husband if you don't let him lead inside of that relationship as a boyfriend. That was my whole thing. So I took the post, I ran with what it said because it went to boyfriends. Women don't submit to boyfriends. That's unproductive.
Okay. Would you want to submit? How would you want to submit to an unproductive supervisor? Would you want to submit to anything that's unproductive? Why would we want to submit to it? Why would we want to do all the work and it not be productive? In anything that you do, any field, if it's not going to be productive, why would you want to invest your time in it anyway? I think that goes to relationships, it goes to jobs, it goes to projects, anything that you put your hands to. If it's not going to be productive, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, but the quote says women don't submit to boyfriends. That's unproductive. Saying that it's unproductive to submit to boyfriends.
Here's my interpretation. If that boyfriend is unproductive, then women shouldn't submit to them if they're unproductive.
You can have unproductive husbands.
Yeah, you really can.
So are we supposed to submit to them? Well, I mean, according to I'm going by the post.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I believe this. I believe that everything is a process. He can't jump from being just a man in your life and jump straight to your husband. It takes time. There's a courtship. There's a process. And so I believe in that process, you'll see signs to know whether or not he's productive or unproductive. Well, it varies because everyone has different expectations. Some people's tolerance is different. And so you may meet a person, I'm gonna say a woman may meet a man and he may be unproductive in certain areas. Okay, if you're able to help him in that area, then that's where you come in and you let your gift or your talent or your positive, your strong suit show up in that area. It's all about the person. Some people, they unproductive to some people may be a man that doesn't make $100,000 a year. Whereas to another woman, unproductive may be somebody he's not working at all. It varies from person to person. And you most certainly can have an unproductive husband. However, I believe that woman knew before before they said I do, that he was unproductive. She just chose to say I do anyway.
That's not always the case.
Mhm.
I mean, that's
I
not,
don't think there's
you know,
no sign. I think there's
that's not always the case because relationships change.
Mhm.
People
People
change.
change.
So you can't say that you know that they were unproductive because that's not always the case. People change over life. You know, people grow, you grow apart, you grow together. So to say to be submissive to a husband and you know, if he's unproductive in this, you do this, you do this. I'm not ready to be there. You should, if your husband's material, you should know that. And I think a lot of men, you know, they are great providers, but they're not good husbands.
That's
They're
right.
great husbands.
Well,
So there's two different things there. You can have a great provider, and you can be an awful husband. And I don't know if it's because they don't know how to be. And I spoke with men before, you know, they didn't have that in their life. So they don't know how to be a good husband because they didn't see that. They saw a provider.
financially.
Yes.
Financially.
They took care of the household. And the mom took care of everything else. And that's what they thought a marriage should be. As long as I'm providing for you, you shouldn't have any complaints. So, and that's not the case. Because we have needs too. We want to be loved, we want to be taken care of. If you want that from us, you got to give us the same.
Interesting. And when you think about providing, I'm not really a person that uses quantitative terms as in all or most because I haven't done any type of study. I can say the people that I've spoken with, you know, a lot of times, let's be real, you gotta have money to pay the bills. Money answers all things. Let's just stop. People need to quit saying, I don't want him for his money. Well, you better want him for his money because money is, you know, you both have to bring something to the table financially. You know, and a lot of times, you know, there are instances where the male is the breadwinner. But a lot of times, like Patricia said, he has been raised, his mindset, as long as I'm paying the bills, she should be, she got light, she got water, she got food, she should be good. But we, not just women, we as a people in relationships, we need to be poured into mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We're not just comprised, we can't be bought. So if you don't have any money, then what are you gonna do? That you still need to encourage that person. Everybody's love language is different. You know, we talk about the love languages. Contrary to many people's belief, gifts are not on top for me. Words of affirmation is number one for me. You know, I love a good gift now. I like a good gift. I like to shop, but words of affirmation is very important to me. So it's about learning that person's love language. That woman may not need your money. Then now what are you gonna give? You know, how are you going to provide? She just needs your prayers and your support, your moral support, your presence. You know, oftentimes the money is not the issue. It's other things that women need that they're lacking and being neglected in. So
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's not really saying that, you know, boyfriends can't. What I got out of it is this. It's not saying that boyfriends can't be productive. I believe he's suggesting that if that man is not productive, then why submit to something that's not productive? So somewhere along the line, he has evidence and shown and proven that productivity means this: you're not dependable, you're not truthful, you're not honest. That's unproductive. I can't depend on someone that's a liar. I can't depend on someone that's not dependable. I can't depend on someone that's not loyal, that does not communicate well, that's angry, bitter, you know, broken. And don't get me wrong, all of us are broken in some way. All of us have issues and problems, but how ready are you to face those issues? How ready are you to say, look in the mirror and say, you know what, I am the problem. I'm busted, I'm disgusted, you know, I don't like what I see when I look in the mirror. I caused that issue. I'm the one that started that argument. I'm the one that's not providing for myself as an individual. So how can I expect this person to meet a need for me anyway? Go ahead, Olga.
You know, but then too, marriage is not everybody's goal. So we have to look at those people that's not their goal. I know some people that's not their goal. Their careers come first, and you know they date, they live with people. You know, I don't do it, but that's not their goal. So they need leaders. They want somebody to be productive in their life. Just because it's not their husband, that don't mean you can't, give me that emotional support, mental support. Yes, financial support if I need it.
If you need it, yeah.
So I mean, we can't put it all on just a husband.
So no,
Yeah.
it's definitely not just a. Oh, Tom, I don't want to go ahead, Tasha.
Yeah,
Tasha,
Tasha,
go ahead, because you want to come in. I'm ready. I'm sorry, I was, this is getting good.
Yeah.
I think, and just earlier, you kind of defined when you said productive. And I think that sometimes that's where we miss the mark with certain things is that somebody else's definition of productive may not be your definition of productive. Because a lot of times when we think about the word productive, we thinking about work, and so we feel like that the person is not being productive because of the work that they do or the work that they don't do. And some people, they are being productive, but like you said earlier, some things are a process. So it's not that, a lot of times it's not that they're not being productive. Sometimes they have to wait. There's times that we have to wait. We want to do things. It's not that we're not being productive because we are working towards whatever it is. So even when you're working towards whatever it is, you're being productive. And I see what the team said that he said something about having the qualifications to lead. And as a boy, having a boyfriend, even a husband for that matter, you do need to have qualifications to lead. Because if I feel like you don't have that, a man, when they think about the word submissive, I hear so many times, when they talk about submissive, it's always based on sex. That's the first thing they like to yell whenever they, hear the word submissive. Some men, they do that. The first thing, well, the Bible say be submissive, but you can't tell me nothing else the Bible say.
That's
But
right.
you can tell me that the Bible say be submissive, and so you always relate it to sex. But it's not about about that. You talking about being submissive, but okay, yeah, we need to honor you as our husband. We need to respect you as our husband. Those type things. But the thing is, you want us to, you honor you, you want us to respect you, but you constantly lying. You cheating. You're doing all these different things. But when it comes to being submissive, there's some black and white. There's some gray areas, and I think men need to understand what the gray areas is when it comes to being submissive. Because if you don't understand the gray areas, you won't get in this what being submissive really is about.
Weaponizing that word. You cannot weaponize. Well, number one, we shouldn't weaponize our words anyway. But oftentimes when we're angry, we weaponize our words. Let's be real. We know what to say to chop somebody down. We know when to say it to chop somebody down.
That's right.
But we have to be careful with I'm gonna stick with submissive. Here's the thing. People, not just men, people can be submissive to their boss at work. You don't realize you're submissive more than you are. You're submissive to the law. You're submissive to the red light. If that red light, you know the light red, you're gonna submit to that red light. You're gonna stop. There's ways that you can submit, but when it comes down to relationships, let's talk about the conclusion of the matter. You don't just take bits and pieces and try to make it what you want to make it, because that's called manipulation. Okay, you're trying to make it work for you and do what you want it to do. When I think about submission, and you use submission, oftentimes you said the Bible, so I'm gonna roll with that. There are prerequisites. There's the if and the thens. There are certain things, if that's the case, we're given the instructions first. Wives, honor your, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me I got to do this first? A lot of times, the very thing that we want is the very thing we're not given.
Right. Exactly.
Let's be, especially as women, we can act up when we want to. You know what I mean? And why? Because we feel like that man is not loving us like we should be loved. He's not giving that affection that he needs to give. He's not productive. And see, women and men are different. Herman even said it. He said, women emotional, men logic. That's true. But I followed up and said, well, women emotional, then logical, men logical, then emotional. You have to find that balance that's needed. It has to match because they're both important. Sometimes it can be overly emotional, and sometimes it can be too logical.
That's right.
Sometimes men can be too logical, but you know what I mean? And so you have to find that balance. whatever it takes to make sure that I got peace in my home,
Yeah.
peace in my marriage. We do it for the job. The people tell us to show up at work at a certain time. What we gonna do? Submit to what
That's
that boss said, and we're gonna be there.
That's
You know,
right.
sometimes
We might be a little late, but we get there.
But we'll get there.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what?
And
You know what I had to learn though, from previous relationships,
Mhm.
I had to learn that it wasn't always about me.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, that
You know,
me
like,
syndrome.
it was always me. Okay, you see me over here, here I go. You don't care about my feelings. Going back to what you were saying, like we a lot of times as women, we do, expect for the man to always look at us and what we need, our needs, before
Yeah.
they put their needs
Yeah.
before us. So that was something that I had to learn. Like,
No,
it's not
I don't
always,
agree with that.
you don't,
Mm-mm.
so you always want to put yourself first?
No, not that I want to put myself first. I think they put themselves first, because if I'm going out with the boys and I know you cook, I'm going out with the boys.
Mhm.
They don't think about, okay, let me go home. My wife cooks,
Some.
my wife do.
Some.
Yeah,
Mhm.
some.
Yeah.
I'm not all, but
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say that we put ourselves first, because oftentimes we put ourselves last. We make sure that that man's gonna eat. We gonna make sure his clothes clean. So that's putting them first. That's not putting me first, because if I put me first, I'm gonna go in there and wash my clothes and fix
Yeah, but
something.
what I mean when I say me, it's like if I want something, if I'm needing something, I expect for you to say, yeah, let me go get that, or yeah, let me do that,
Because
or yeah,
why?
we can go here, we can go, because I want you to. Back then,
I'm with you. You ain't even said it yet. I'm with you.
over right.
Because why? Because
You already did.
You did. That's why you expect them what you already gave.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. But
you're
sometimes
not
we
putting
do, but
yourself
sometimes
first.
we do have to put them first. We have to be mindful of our men as well, not just
Yeah.
expecting
Yeah.
for them to say yes to everything that we want. We have to,
I'm not gonna plagiarize because I don't believe in plagiarizing, but I think his name is Pastor Ken. He said, "Be careful of that me syndrome."
Yeah.
Oh, I want. He said, in a relationship, you gotta be so where you serving that person, you outserve them. You're gonna outserve them, and they're gonna outserve you. And if I'm outserving my man and for him, and he outserving for me, and nobody should go lacking. But here's the issue. There's so much ambiguity in that. What I mean by that is what's serving to
Big
me
words.
may not. Well, what I'm saying. Okay, it's like this. What I believe is servitude may not be what he believes is servitude. You know what I mean? What he thinks is pleasing me may be like who said about the sex. What he pleasing me, Tasha said. So to him, serving me. She threw you on the butt. Oh, good. No, I'm just kidding. But serving him maybe he wants sex. But serving me could be I want love and affection. I want to go on a nice date, something intimate. You know what I mean? So when I say he's not wrong, you're not wrong, but it's meeting that person where they are. No, I didn't mean that I want to have sex. But I mean, when I said I want to be intimate, I wasn't talking about sex. I was talking about a conversation. I want to open up and be vulnerable to you because I got some things going on mentally, emotionally. I want to talk to you about some things. It's really finding out what does he mean when he says serve? What does he mean? What do you mean when you say serve? What does he mean when he says intimate? What does each person mean?
Yeah.
And I tell anybody, if you selfish, don't get married.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I agree.
you'll feel like a punk, you'll feel like a wimp, you'll feel like, man, I'm not about to do this. I'm not about to do this. However, you give that in what you want to receive. It is hard. I'm speaking from mistakes too. Okay? I'm speaking because I got it wrong. So sometimes on the mountaintop ain't always where you learn your mistakes. It's the valley experience is where you learn your mistakes. It's in the darkness. It's in the mistakes. It's in the failures. It's in the worst seasons of your life where you learn the most sustenance. I ain't talking about this information that you just got for the things that are really deeply embedded, in you, where you say, you know what, I'm not gonna do that again. So it's really learning. In other words, scratch ambiguity is learning that person's love language and removing selfishness.
And I guess for me, sex and making love, that's two totally different things. Because intimacy is not what making love is. It starts, I mean, it can start over the phone. You can make love over the phone. You make that person when you get home, then it starts. It don't need to start when you get in bed. Hey, I'm not. No, because things start before you get in bed.
That's
You
right.
have to lead up to that.
That's right. Tell
You
people.
know, I mean, stop the text. Make me want to come home and be with you instead of we get it.
I
No.
don't care what R. Kelly said. Ain't no 12 play. We playing all day. You gotta prepare the way.
All
You gotta
day.
massage that thing, marinate it throughout the day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can't just, like, boom. No. Women, men work that, some men work that way, but women don't work that
Are
way.
we talking about, what are we talking about? We talking about husband and wife? We talking about boyfriend,
I'm
girlfriend?
talking
We talking about
relationship.
living
I'm
together?
talking about wherever you at. I'm speaking from my beliefs. I'm speaking from a husband and wife. Clearly, I got a son. We've all fornicated. We've all done what we did before we got married. Let's go ahead and put it out there. But now that I know better, I do better. So I'm speaking from a husband and wife perspective. But there are people out there that are not married. So if that's for you, it's for you. You put yourself wherever you are. You know what I mean? Like, however you choose to live your life, that's your personal decision. I'm speaking from a husband and wife perspective. The one thing about it, when you're not married, I don't care if y'all live together. You can make that man leave, or he can make you leave. But when you married, you can, but technically that's y'all's house. You know what I mean? So you're in essence, you're forced to work through those issues and those problems. Whatever they may be.
I just feel like communication is a biggie.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a biggie.
Yes, I say it all the time.
And a lot of times that's where we mess up as not as women and as men. We don't communicate. We have these thoughts, in our head, but we don't actually communicate them. We don't say it, to the person that we need to say it to. We say it to everybody else, but we don't say it to our husbands. We don't say it to our wives. We say it to everybody. We say it to everybody else. And so I feel like, communication got to be open. If this ain't how you like it,
Right.
and if this ain't how you want it, you need to let them know. Baby, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't working. Whatever. So, you need to communicate those things. Your feelings might be hurt, but at the end of the day, you're gonna know what to do and what not to do, after that. But, even when it comes to pretty much anything, you need to communicate your feelings, and those type things, because sometimes, you walk around here, you're feeling down, you're feeling sad, you're feeling this type of way, but you're not saying anything. Men nor women are mind readers.
No.
They don't really know how you feel. They don't know this is what you want to do. They thinking, for instance, I told my husband, I'll turn 50 next year. And I told him, and I said, I don't want no birthday party. We going out of the States.
Yeah.
We going out. I don't want to, and I communicated that to him.
Right.
But to him, he probably thinking my wife turning 50, so let me try to work on him. I'm saying this on camera, Melvin, if you hear. No 50th birthday party.
Yeah.
But either way, I communicate that to him. But he could have been out here planning something, and then now I'm all in my feelings, and now I'm all upset, like, oh my God, I can't believe, he planned this birthday party. This is what I want. So now you're all upset, but you didn't communicate that. You didn't communicate that. You didn't tell me. The same thing with us, or whatever. If you're not communicating that with us, then we're gonna just kind of go off of, what we're thinking, or we just assume, and they say about assuming, or whatever. So you just have to go back, to what Marty said. You have to be mindful and careful of each other's feelings, or whatever. Some men, they don't talk as much as we talk.
Right.
They don't. Yeah, they're not gonna say certain things that we're gonna come out and say what we gotta say, or whatever. So we have to really take their feelings in consideration, about some things. But if you're married, and if you've been married any length of time or whatever, there is things that I don't have to open my mouth. My husband don't have to open his mouth. I see his body language.
There you go, nonverbal.
It's nonverbal. Sometimes you can watch somebody's body language and you know exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know, even with facial expressions, you know, they tell us even with customer service,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever, they tell you, you know, things that you shouldn't say, you know, or whatever. But if you're in my face and I make faces. But if you're in my face or whatever, even though my mouth is not saying it, my face is telling me just how I feel.
Absolutely.
So you know, you have to watch those things. You have to be observant, you know, and watch those things because sometimes body language will tell you more than a mouth can ever say.
There you go,
And
absolutely.
I say it all the time here on the show, Tank T, I always say, you gotta stop assuming what someone is thinking. And just say it, ask them, let them know what is on your mind. Because that communication has a lot of relationships in trouble. Because you're not telling the other person what you want, how you feel about this, about that. And then it's like, I'm assuming that you're thinking this way, but you're really not thinking that way. You're thinking a totally different, you on another level than what I'm assuming that you're thinking. So I'm with you on that. Communication is so important.
Then a lot of times we tell people what they want to hear. We're not being truthful to ourselves. We tell people if you know your husband or your significant other, certain things you know may hurt their feelings. So you're gonna dress it up a little bit. Sometimes you're not gonna be totally honest. So you're still cheating yourself. Because sometimes you're not gonna be, if you know something, your husband, let's use sex for instance. You're not completely pleased. No, that ain't work for me. And we all get it, so don't get up here and lie and say, y'all had it before.
I think it's not about what you say, but how you say it.
That's how you say it.
And some things, don't get me wrong, and some things, there's really no easy way to say certain things, but you can push it with grace a little bit, you know? You can't, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And sometimes you have to show people how to treat you. Sometimes this is kind of related. I gave a young lady a ride one time, and she had a kid with a car seat, a kid in a car seat, and she had a kid that was not car seat, age.
Wait a minute. Okay, so
I
think she goes
some things there's no easy way to tell it. Well, when the young lady got out, she left roaches in my car. And I was like, oh my God, this girl got roaches in my car. When you see one, you can see 100.
Right.
And so I text my friends. I was like, listen, y'all, I'm not trying to be mean. I said, but that girl left roaches in my car. How do I tell her I can't give it around again until she get rid of the roaches? And the amount of roaches that were in my car, she got a roach infestation. And my friend said to me, she said, come on, some things, there's no easy way to certain things. There's no easy way to tell. Some things you got to come out and just say what you gotta say, and you gotta know that you said it from a pure place,
right?
From a good place. Ain't no easy way for me to say, listen, girl, you left roaches in my car. I can't give you a ride to church no more. I can't do it. There's no easy way to say, I really didn't, or like what you said, I really didn't like that. I really didn't, but you can initiate, and you can be the one to lead the way in that area. So whatever the area is, you feel like you're not getting what you need. You're lacking, or you feel like you're negligent or being, neglected in the area. Perhaps you can be the one to lead the way in the area until the area is perfected.
Yeah, it's definitely how you say it. Like, you don't have to be mean with it. You can be truthful and not be mean with it. But
nobody answered my question.
What was the question?
I said,
have we lied before?
Veronica said, you communicate everything. If you don't like something, and I said that sometimes you don't want to hurt that person's feelings, so we're not always communicating and honest. And I said, we all faked it before. Have we not?
I plead the fifth. I got the freedom of speech or not.
But no, we know what you're saying. There's such things called little white lies. But I try to be truthful. You're right, a lie's a lie. I do try to be truthful, especially if it's something serious that I really want to listen to. Yeah, like, I prefer to tell the truth, but I get what you're saying. Sometimes you gotta bend that, stretch it, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes you're not always true.
Okay,
In order
that
to-
was my
in order
point. That
to-
was my.
in order to not hurt someone's feelings.
Okay, so now you're putting yourself on the back burner because you're not being satisfied.
Oh,
You
we're
are-
back to sex.
Love
That's what I'm talking about.
Love.
Anything,
Oh.
anything. I mean, there's anything.
Mm.
Say your husband cooked you a meal. You didn't like it. You sit there, significant other, and you didn't, but you ate it. You didn't tell me you didn't like it because you didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Okay.
Tasha was like, I'm telling.
Okay, so here's
But see, Tasha been married. Let me cut you off.
No, you good.
Tasha been married what, 20 years?
26.
Y'all
It
just
is
celebrated. Y'all just celebrated the anniversary. Once again, happy anniversary, and you just celebrated a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday!
Happy
to you.
birthday.
I meant to say that at the beginning, but I say that to say this. I think it depends on how long you've been with the person.
No.
I really do. In my opinion, I do feel like it depends on how long you've been with the person because you're just that comfortable. If I'm just getting with somebody a month down the road, I'm not able to say what I can say to a person that I've been with for 15 years.
Oh, there's a way.
You see what I'm saying? There's a way, but you're going to be sketchy with it. You're gonna be careful on how you say it. You're gonna really try to sugarcoat it and make it sound better. But somebody that's been together 20, 26 years, babe, this ain't doing it. What you doing? Go to the left.
They had to start, but they had to start somewhere though.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying you're more comfortable with somebody that you've been with a long period of time than someone that you just meet. You can be as honest because I believe Tasha can be real honest when it comes to love. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa, somebody that just got together 2 months ago, if that makes sense. Some of y'all are outspoken.
It does make sense, but you have to start somewhere. Once again, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
And I found where you give the positive, negative, positive approach in anything. Patricia wants to stick on sex.
No. I use that as an example as how we put ourselves first. We're like, we don't want to hurt his feelings. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. And then you find yourself years later miserable because you didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
Well, I think you can say things without hurting people's
Yeah,
feelings.
that's how you say it.
It's the positive, negative, positive, and I don't care how you can put Starburst and Krispy Kreme glaze on something. Some people just easily offended anyway. So no matter how you serve it, they're gonna still be offended. But I think it's worth giving your best effort and not giving them the truth in love. You know, let them words be seasoned with a whole lot of grace. You know, and do the best that you can. You really kind of know the person that you're dealing with. You know, you can have a group of friends, right? I got a group of friends where one person I can be like, girl, do my hair look bad, or how does that look? Like, girl, you need to take that off. You know, I got one friend that's I can be that way with her. She can be that way with me.
Right.
But then I got somebody else where you got to tiptoe. You better tiptoe, honey, because she's gonna be offended. Thinking to myself like, but don't you want a friend to say like, girl, no, your hair don't look right, or girl, no, don't do that, or what? Just challenge people. What made you do your hair like that? You know what I mean? It's the positive, negative, positive. It's worth a try. Give them something positive. You know, I really enjoy spending that time. But you see, you've been married for a long time, Patricia.
I was married for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was married for a long time.
Some conversations are easier to have than others.
Yeah.
Especially depending on what it is. It can, so some people, they're offended by everything. And, you have people that say, I want somebody to tell me the truth. We always say, you see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People saying, I want somebody to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
But then when somebody comes and tells you the truth, now you're ready to snap. Now you want to be nasty. Now you all offended, and now you want to go, oh, you know what she said to me, and she, and all this other stuff. But you wanted a friend. Mm-hmm. You want somebody, but you got these other people in your circle. You got people that you call friends. And they're not telling you the truth. They're going and talking about you to other people.
That's right.
And or whether they're having these discussions that they need to have with you. But here I am trying to be your friend, and tell you the truth. as easy as possible. But now I'm being talked
No,
about.
I'm hating
Now
on
I'm looking, now I'm jealous of you.
Mhm.
Now like you said, now I'm hating on you because I told you I told you the truth, or whatever. And one thing that I tell people, or whatever, if Veronica says something to me and it hurt my feelings, and I'm sitting here laughing with her,
Yeah.
acting like everything is fine, we are cool or whatever, but deep down inside, it really hurt me, or whatever. Veronica not going to know that it hurt me because of the emotions that I'm now displaying, what she sees, but really on the inside, that really tore me up. So I need to let Veronica know,
That's
Veronica,
right.
what you said that bothered me,
Yeah.
what you said that
Right.
hurt me,
Mhm.
or whatever. And a lot of times people are walking around here with all this animosity, and feeling some type of way because I didn't know that bothered you.
Right.
Yeah.
You sat there and you laughed with me. We laughed it off, and we went on about we had the table together, we doing this together. You never said anything.
That's right.
So I thought everything was okay. But you got all this hidden animosity
That's right.
or whatever because I said something and you didn't say anything to me. So a lot of times, it's some conversations are easy. And even when me and Melvin first got married, there was things that I probably wouldn't have said to him that I say now.
Exactly.
Now it's like no whole bars, or whatever. So, and a lot of times, I'll say little things to him, no matter what the situation is. I don't care if he cooks something or whatever. 9 times out of 10, if he see me doing this, he gonna already know. You don't like it, or whatever the case may be. Because we've been together so long that it's like, I mean, we know each other,
Right.
and so
that's why I say some things you can say that some of us may not feel comfortable saying to someone that we just met.
Yeah.
Because y'all been together so long. Can y'all hear me? Mic check. Herman, turn me up just a little bit, please. A little bit more. Please.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. A little bit more. Mic check. Mic check. But yeah, and I totally get that, Tasha. It makes a difference to me. I mean, some people just flat out can be real with, somebody they just met.
But they nasty with it though. But they rude and nasty. And as we're all talking, we're talking about women. This is what I wrote down: safe place. Where there's a safe place, you gotta have trust. And I heard Pastor Dr. Hart Ramsey say this: you gotta have people in your life who are vault friends and not vending machine friends.
Yeah.
And what that means is a vault is something that protects the information that y'all share. You can go to that person and say, "Hey, girl, you hurt my feelings when you said that," and they're not gonna go tell 5 other people and cause more drama.
Right.
They're gonna keep it between y'all. Y'all gonna figure that thing out. Then you got your vending machine friends. Give them enough money or tell them the right thing, they're gonna tell all your business. We're talking about women here, right? We're talking about women. This is the women table talk. So let's talk about how sometimes you can be a friend to somebody, but deep down they can't stand your guts.
Right.
They're jealous of you. They're envious of you.
Yeah.
They have talked about you, drug your name through the mud, and you only told that person certain information, and now your stuff then got out there. Now, how did that person know that I know I only told you?
Yeah.
We're talking about women. Just because you are a real friend to that person does not mean they're a real friend to you. That is hurtful, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's hurtful, but it's true. They stab you in the front and they stab you in the back, and the whole time you've been being a real friend to this person.
Exactly.
So you got to be that, not just in a romantic relationship, even as friends, as sisters, you have to be that safe place, and you have to be trustworthy. Everybody don't deserve trust. Everybody deserves respect, cordiality, those type things, but everybody don't deserve to be trusted. Yeah, everyone is not trustworthy.
And you know what? And I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of the things that I want to speak on. Mm-hmm. Because can y'all hear me? I seem like I'm talking low. Okay, but I feel like that's one thing that I had down that I wanted to speak about, and because we all women at the table, so let's be real and let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you brought it up once again because there's so much jealousy and hatred and just people being just evil. And when I say people, I'm talking about women. Mm-hmm. Like there's no support for some women coming from some women. Like I don't understand how we as women can't get along. And it's bad because you have some women that dislike you because of what someone else told them. They don't even know you, but they dislike you because of what someone else told them. So now they're on the bandwagon where they don't care for you as well and talking about you and doing this and doing that and doing this. I saw this girl, this is no lie. I saw this young lady that, and it's so childish, but I'm gonna say it because we're talking about it. Back in high school, I had this boyfriend, well-known boyfriend, you know, and she had liked him at the same time. He probably was messing with her at the same time. And her, you know, this girl still do not speak to me to this day. We've been out of school 30-something years,
Oh, wow.
and she still do not speak to me because of that reason. I don't understand.
That
That,
lady
like-
saw that man as her future husband, and you messed it up.
Oh,
Messed it up.
you know,
Tell the tea.
he's married now.
And he could have been her husband.
Her husband.
Had it not been for you,
Dang, I feel horrible. And where's my camera? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But no, seriously, like women have it's so bad between us as women that we, you know, go through this and we won't speak to one another. We'll look at one another up and down and like, oh, she thinks she all that. Or like I hate it that we go through this as women.
I don't like that statement. She thinks she all that. I'm gonna think I'm not that. Like I'm not saying be arrogant. I'm not saying be arrogant. I'm not because I was just thinking. I don't know. I was just riding. I was like, I can't stand an arrogant man. I can't stand an arrogant. You could be kind of ugly and humble. You know, not attractive. I'm gonna say you could be kind of ugly and humble versus fine. You know, and arrogant. No, I'll pass on that. You know, but my thing, she thinks she all that. Am I supposed to not think I'm all that? As long as I'm not being nasty, rude, mean, and degrading you, I'm supposed to take care of myself. And one thing I've learned is that oftentimes people are when the person that someone is jealous of, oftentimes me, you, we're looking like, well, why are you jealous of me? I go through things in life. If y'all only knew, if y'all only knew what I had to go through behind closed doors, to face, you know, the world and to face you and to not, I'm gonna be real. Listen, you better be glad I love the Lord. You better be glad I love the Lord. I know I love him, but you better be glad I love the Lord because I would have handled that the old way. You know, right. And so to me, it's very disheartening because the very person that you are jealous of could be the very person that could have their blessing in your mouth. That could be the very person that could help pull you out of the mess that you are in. And honestly, I know it's hard. Sometimes you still have to speak. Yeah. Sometimes you still have to be cordial, you know, and I'm not talking from, I'm gonna speak to the healthy anyway. I'm talking, sometimes you have to gym and say, hey, how you doing? You know, sometimes you really have to be the bigger person. You have to take the high road. It doesn't always feel good, but in my experience, the times where I didn't give people what they gave me, I ended up praying for them. I ended up encouraging them. Yeah. You know, I ended up, and honestly, I'm not holding back. I ain't talking about church. I'm talking about I am the church. I'm talking about a walking epistle for God. I've been betrayed. Okay, I've been talked about. I've been used. I've been abused. But I use that for my good. You know what I mean? And I've learned that people, it's better to dislike you than it is. It's easier for people to dislike you than it's for them just to get to know you. I'm more than a wig. I'm more than makeup. I'm more than clothes. I'm more than a car. Get to know me for who I am. And little do you know, you have gained the best friend in the whole world. You gain a loyal friend. You gain a trusted friend. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But people want to look at the outside. Yeah. No, you better stop because the ones that listen, you got to be careful who you entrust in your information to because the ones that's liking your status, comment on your status. I will tell people I don't even know, girl, take that thing down. Why are you putting that up there? Making yourself look bad like that. I don't know you, and you probably don't even know me or even like me, but I don't want to see women degrading themselves, putting screenshots about how men doing this and doing that to them, making themselves look bad. I was like, honey, listen, I don't mean no harm. This doesn't make you look bad. Take it down. But no, take it down. You better than that. If you're going to cry behind closed doors. If you're going to cry to God. If you're going to cry to somebody you know you can trust. Yeah. Share it amongst people behind closed doors. Some people on social media don't care about you. Right. They don't really care. They give you likes and shares. You can continue to share your business. Yeah.
And I mean,
Come on, women.
it's really sad out here.
Well, I think, a lot of it comes from they see what's on the outside and they want what you have, but they don't know the struggle that you're going through to get that. You may look good on the outside and all happy, and you go home and you cry
That's right.
because you're broken.
Right.
But they don't see that, but they still want what they think you have.
Yeah.
Right.
But when they get what you have,
Can't handle it.
It's a lot of competition. Like, why do we love to compete against one another?
right where you get.
Competing and comparison is a killer.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. Even whenever I started my boutique, which I don't have anymore, even when I started my boutique, that was one of the worst things I could have done. I would look at things and get ideas, but at the same time, I found myself comparing myself, I didn't even know some of these women. It was just people that I saw on Instagram or whatever. But I'm like, wow, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and this is not happening, that's not happening, or whatever. And I found myself doing that, and I had to like stop. I had to pinch myself, or whatever. And that's one of the worst things we could do because at the end of the day, and we often say it, what God has for you is for you, or whatever. You can do just as much, you can have just as better. But see, some of us we don't work for some of the things that some of these other women work for, or whatever. We thinking that this was an overnight process, and I was saying, no, some of these people work for that. It probably took them 5-10 years. It's just that you're just not hearing it.
Yeah.
It's just that it's just now manifesting. It's just that now it's being brought to your attention, but you don't know, going back to what you said, Patricia, you don't know the struggles that people have to deal with. Some people, they get depressed, they on medication, dealing with anxiety, and all this stuff, trying to build certain things, trying to have certain things, and you're jealous of that.
Right.
You really jealous of you. That's what I said a long time ago, and I made a post on Facebook. If people really knew what they was really jealous of, you really don't know.
Right.
You don't know the tears people cry. You don't know the tears people shed. And all these different things. You don't know the days that they was broke. Or whatever. They didn't have the money.
Yeah.
People around here robbing Peter to pay Paul.
That's right.
All these different things, and you jealous of that.
Right.
They
They don't see beyond
Right.
what. See, here
What's
as
supposed to be.
you talk, and we're
Right.
not who we're supposed to be. But sometimes it's a camouflage, Tasha. But sometimes I believe that some people have a grace to make stuff look effortless.
They do.
Sometimes people have a grace to make it look easy. It doesn't mean that it is, but from the outside in, you go through it. Like people say, I don't look like what I've been through.
Right.
If you want what I got, guess what? You gotta take it all. Take what I went through.
Exactly.
If you're not willing to take what I went through, guess what? You don't want it, honey. I don't want to be. I don't want to walk around in nobody's shoes.
Right.
I walk with you. I don't want to walk around in anybody else's shoes because what you got through could kill me, and vice versa.
Right.
No, don't want it.
And when we go out, we're supposed to look our best.
That's right.
That's right.
Because
Why not?
it's not your business what I'm going through.
Okay.
Right.
So what I go through, I go through at home. But when I step outside,
No.
You don't have to look like
You don't have to look like
that's
that.
your business.
That's right. That's right.
That's my privacy.
That's
my
right.
privacy.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, so don't look at me like, oh, she got this guy. So you just don't know.
Right.
You just don't know the struggle.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we talking about, and this is all basically talking about sisterhood, or whatever. We talk about having these sisterhoods, we want these sisterhoods, and all these different things, but we don't always make places a safe space.
Yeah.
We don't always make it a safe haven, because somebody come to us with something confidential, going back to what Karan was saying, and you don't went out here, you don't told everybody.
That's right.
You don't say this, so now this person, they no longer feel safe. I've been there. I've been in this sisterhood. I've been in this group, and I've done that. I can't do this no more.
That's right.
I'm tired of it. And people get to that place, and that's why a lot of women, you see them to themselves, and we trying to figure this stuff out. Like, why they got all these walls up, or whatever. That's why.
That's right.
They've been broken so many times by people that they thought they could trust.
Yeah.
People that felt like they had, you had their back. or whatever. And like I said, you've been in these groups, and then here you are, you're the leader. But then you going to this person and that person, and you telling what you done discuss with this other person. But you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be the one that's counseling people. You're the one that's supposed to be guiding people. But yet you going to tell all these other women this person's business. It don't work like that.
I just wanted them to just so they can pray for them. You ain't got to tell nobody business for them to pray for nobody. Just pray.
That's it.
Okay, you don't have to go into, and that happened to me. A trusted leader, a trusted individual, trusting this person, sharing stuff with this person. And once again, why does so-and-so know this? Why does this person know my business? Why does this person know my information? You know what I mean? And so it makes you look at it. It's hurtful. It's discouraging. It causes you to look at everybody sideways, and you have to grow out of that because everybody is not there to harm you. But once you've been burnt and betrayed so many times, you got to take that perspective. Like, I'm gonna sit back and watch.
That's exactly why I'm sorry, Patricia, because that's why I'm so, a lot of stuff that I go through, I keep to myself. Sometimes that's not good, but a lot of times it is good. Because you have to be mindful who you're sharing your information with. Because you don't want your information to get out to this person or the wrong person and it get all everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been that I don't want to say sheltered, but I've always been that person, like, to myself. Like, I don't tell all my business, what's going on in my life.
And we can't put that on all women. And true. So yes, it's a sisterhood, but there are some genuine good
of course,
people out there. So I don't want woman bash and say women are not. We don't have each other back because I have a friend from over 30 something years.
Right.
I know that she has my back.
Yeah.
I don't care what we go through. We can not talk for months.
Yes.
She has my back. So I'm not gonna say it's all
It's
men.
not.
That's a
not.
good point, Patricia.
It's
not
men. It's also men.
Yeah, got some of them got some more women.
In our household. I mean, you can tell a man something, and they get around men and they talk.
Yeah.
So we can't say, women are jealous. Sometimes they are jealous of what somebody else may not be a female. Could have been a man.
Right.
So
that's why I go back to say that some people dislike you because of what someone else told them.
Yeah.
Instead of getting to know that person, they gonna dislike you because of something that they heard. And I don't like that.
Yeah,
I do not like that. And
Tyrone said, stop talking to people who aren't professionals. But I don't know if I agree with that, Tyrone, because all of your friends are not licensed professional counselors.
That's right.
All of your friends are not licensed, clinical social workers. All of your friends don't have a licensure or credentials. The licensure or the I guess the authority to be your friend is not always something that is clinical. Sometimes it's just that they've shown faithfulness, they've shown loyalty.
Or they've been through what I'm
and
going
or
through.
they've been equipped through absolute life experiences. So I don't think that all your friend group has to be professionals.
Right.
They just have to show forth other qualities to be called a friend. Not a frenemy, not a foe, not an enemy, but a true friend or a true sister. And Patricia, you made a good point. Not all women are like that.
No,
there are some really good
right,
friends.
right.
Yeah, you show yourself friendly. Sometimes you don't always get it back, but your real people.
Right.
It ain't always your A1 from day one. Sometimes it is, but sometimes you find out your A1 from day one is the one that truly jealous of you.
Exactly.
It's a hard truth, but it's sad. But
like I think there are some really good women out there. I mean, women that are not your friends. I have women, to
Go ahead.
come up to me. Hey, you're looking good. We're not friends. We never talk. But they've seen me before. They've seen me then. They see me now. You're looking good, and that's encouraging. So some women are just encouragers. They're not just, they don't look at you like, I want what she has, what they look. Some women are just encouragers. I think that's how me and Veronica, we got to, being friends, being encouragers. I didn't know Veronica, I just started watching tank. I knew of her, but I didn't know her. But I got to know her. I didn't go by what anybody else told me about her. That I didn't hear anything, but I wouldn't go by,
Right,
what
right.
somebody else, said about her. I
Yeah.
get to know somebody for yourself.
Yeah,
Because their experience with that person may not be your experience.
that's right, that's right.
Exactly.
You gotta
Right.
watch the one that told. Sometimes you gotta watch the one that's saying, "Oh, you better watch out. I ain't trying to gossip, no ma'am." And sometimes you have to be bold, Tasha. That's where that boldness come in at. Sometimes you gotta just shut it down.
Yeah.
And I would tell people, listen, don't come to me with no foolishness. Did you tell that person that? Because you telling me it's not gonna fix it, baby girl. Did you go to that person yourself? Well, no, ma'am. Let's either you want to get them on the phone together. Ain't no he say shit. You gotta shut things down.
Yeah.
You have to be that person. You know what? We're not doing this because you telling me it's not gonna fix it. You have to go to that person and you have to tell that person, okay, hey, look, like how she said, you offended me. You have to be able to talk to that person directly. And the fact of the matter is this: not everyone is ready to give the truth, and not everybody's ready to receive the truth.
Right.
But you have to be willing to do what you gotta do, for the better, for the good of the purpose, I guess I would say, regardless. And I say, let the chips fall where they may.
Read John's comment.
John, which one? Because
Do y'all ladies take warning when a man tell you that a particular good friend ain't your friend?
That's a good question.
will we take?
I would.
Yeah,
I would.
yeah.
Because he's not saying it for no reason. There's something that happened, or there's something that he knows that he's warning you of.
Right.
Well, you gotta in delve. You have to elaborate.
Yeah.
You don't just come to me and say, "Oh, that ain't your home girl." You have to be willing to say, "Okay, what makes you think that?"
Yeah.
I'm challenging you on your words to make sure that where you're coming from is a pure place. I trust you. I trust her. Now I'm going to compromise the situation. I'm not choosing you over her or her over you. What I'm saying is that why do you say that?
Yeah,
You ready to tell it?
Right.
Tell it all. I'm
Yes.
probing.
Yeah.
I'm asking questions of all kinds to find out why you're bringing that to me. Don't say, no, I'm just saying, just trust me. No, that's not good enough. You should have kept it to yourself until you was ready to disclose everything.
Yes.
Explain
Yes.
it to me.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to another topic that I want to get to,
Okay.
but I did want to get to John's comment. He posted a comment earlier, what makes a lot of sense. He said most women friendships last so long because it's been based on lies.
And I actually commented on that and said,
You
right,
did?
I did.
Yeah, that's a great point. So ladies, let's talk about men for a second. Not like we haven't said anything about them, but we have to remember that men are human as well, and I feel like lately, of course it's been going on, since the beginning of the time, but it's like lately we've been seeing so much in the news of men not taking care of us. There's been videos out there of like a video came out where this mother and her son was in a store and the mother and another guy got into it.
Yeah.
The man hit the woman, and I think the son went and got a gun and shot
I
the
remember
man
that.
or whatever. There was another incident where this lady, she was outside, I don't know if it was a club or whatever, but she got into it with a man. The man picked up a brick and hit her with the brick, but other men was just watching from the outside. They didn't do anything. So how do y'all feel about that? Do you think that a man should be a protector at all times, no matter if he knows that other woman, he's don't know, like he don't know the other woman, like if something happened, to the grocery store tonight and a man see it, he don't know the woman, should he put his life on the line just because there's a woman?
I don't think he should put his life on the line. I think he should kind of diffuse the situation as best as he could, because he don't know what led up to that. He don't know what that woman did. So sometimes you can't put yourself in harm's way.
Right.
You can kind of diffuse the situation, and by diffusing, okay, ma'am, you go ahead to your car. If she's standing there arguing with that man, then that's on her. Me, if I would never put a man in a position that he's gonna have to harm someone, or I get harmed. So sometimes we put ourselves in situations. we check. Yeah, we don't know what to hush, because somebody said, we want that last word. So in that instance, we can't expect for a man to come and put his life on the line when it was us that started.
Yeah.
So we have to know when to hush sometimes.
Right. I
Because
agree with that.
I see a man that's bigger than me and he says something, I'm moving. I'm moving out of the way. I'm not trying. You know, I'm not trying. I'm not gonna go back and forth with him because I know I can't beat this man, and I can't expect for some stranger to jump in when I started the whole situation. So no, I know.
I get it. I totally get it. I would make him, jokes behind the scenes, but yeah, I mean, we have to be mindful of how we put our men in these situations,
Yeah.
So
With the example that you used, I can't remember what happened next with the son, the mom and the son. I got it's easy. One thing, number one, it's easy to say what you would do in a situation, and you're not actually in the situation. However, I will say this: we live in a cell phone, smartphone generation.
yeah,
So sometimes diffusing the situation or doing your due diligence is to not record it, but call 911. Call the police. And I got kind of mixed emotions or mixed thoughts on whether I want my man, my husband, my brother, my uncle to risk his life, out there. And these people, things are just so different now. I'm not saying if it's really a choice. I just can't say that I would want the men that are special to me to get himself involved in a situation in the public where he may not make it home alive.
right.
He has a family to come home to. He has kids to come home to. And he has a life that he has to live as well. So I can't really say if I would want the special men, the men that I love to just step in like that. It's hard to say. It's a really difficult thing. I don't know.
But I can say that these cell phones do come in handy at the right time though, because a lot of times we wouldn't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? If those cell phones wasn't recording. So sometimes those cell phones do go. But I see what you're saying. Not all 20 people need to be recording. Somebody need to be calling the police. Yeah. But they do come in.
What do y'all think about a situation where we expect men to jump in that don't know us if we're arguing with our boyfriend? They don't know what's going on. And then the stranger jumps in, he gets hurt, either your boyfriend get hurt, maybe your boyfriend hurts that guy. And guess what? The next day, where are you?
With him.
With the boyfriend.
I'm gonna speak from a domestic violence perspective. I'm gonna speak from working in that field. I'm no longer in that field now, but from working in that field, we did almost a year to this date. We did the live about it, the broadcast about it. A lot of times they come in and they honestly, the women, first of all, I'll say this: there are male and female victims.
Right.
Okay. Honestly, I've seen where the male has been the aggressor, and I've seen where the female has been the aggressor. But oftentimes, the female is the one that gets to us first, and they want to tell their side of the story first. And when you start talking to them, you're like, "Well, you were the aggressor." I'm not saying you deserve that, but both of y'all need help. But here's the thing: talking to these people, you talk more. You talk to them, and then I've had them walk through a whole order of protection, and they don't turn it in. I've had them, he did this to me. They tell you the whole life story, and I would have to bring them back focused and say, hey, the family court's only concerned about the most recent incident. I'm sorry this happened to you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but the family court judge only wants to know the most recent incident that brought you in here to file this order of protection. So they go through all that, or they go through the order of protection, they show up for the order of protection hearing, and then they say, oh, I got something to tell you. I'm like, okay, what? I slept with him over the weekend. Oh. So like Patricia said, just be true to yourself and say, you know what? I don't want to fight with my man. I don't want to fuss with him. I just want the abuse to stop. I don't want to fight him. I don't want him to fight me. We both need help. So why do I expect Johnny, I mean, just in case of Johnny, not you, Johnny, if you won't hear, Mike or whoever, to step in, and you're gonna go right back. It's okay. Don't lie to yourself. You want that man. Just be honest and say, I'm not ready to leave him. Don't wait, and don't get from the heart of an advocate. I support what you do. I'm not supporting no lie. Let's be real. Did you hit that man? What led up to that? Let's be honest. You have to challenge people just to tell the truth and stand on their truth, and say, okay, I'm not gonna advocate you shouldn't hit him and he shouldn't hit you. You shouldn't verbally abuse him and he shouldn't verbally abuse you. But like you said, Ronnie, oftentimes it's all about me, because I'm more sensitive.
Right.
We as women, we're more sensitive. But why risk your life when just say, I'm gonna go back to him. Quick call if you really, really know that you are in danger and you are truly fearful for your life. Do whatever it is that you gotta do and quit the back and forth stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not by no means am I saying say something and you could possibly lose your life. I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. You're the expert of your life. You have to be the one to know what to do. And when you know this man, when the abuse is looking different and more serious, you're the one that knows that. But at the end of the day, no one's judging you if you choose to say, I want to work it out. I just want the abuse to stop.
See, and this is the thing. This is why I say, like, when you're going through something, you don't have to tell everybody. Let that stay between you and that man or you and that woman. Everybody do not have to know your situation, because that's when it gets messy. When you start telling all these folks and then 2 months down the road, you're back with the same person. The people that you already told it to looking at you crazy, like you just went through all of that. You just told us all of this, what this guy then did to you or this woman then did to you, but you're going back to them. That's why I always say, keep things to yourself. If it's not a life, death situation that you're going through with your significant other, stop telling everybody. Like when my last relationship, my parents didn't know that I was done. They had no idea that things been going on inside of my marriage until I told them at the last minute, because I didn't want to, keep going to them. Oh, I'm going through this and this happened the other day and this happened the other month and then I'm still with this man. So now my parents looking like, oh well, we don't care too much for him. He been doing this to my baby. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We have to be careful what we're sharing with people.
Mm-hmm. But we as women, we keep things. Before we leave a relationship, we leave mentally. Yeah. So you had to get to that mental state. So you didn't tell anybody because you wasn't mentally ready. That's right. So you don't go out and tell all your business. Because we internalize stuff, we get our mind right. We don't, that's how we think. That's what's my next move? What's my next move? How am I going to get out of this situation? Mm-hmm. I don't need to go over here and tell my mom and my dad what's going on, because at the end of the day, I still got to go back because I haven't figured everything out.
Right. Get that.
I haven't figured it out yet. So I'm not going over here and telling, put my kids involved, put my brothers and sisters involved, because at the end of the day, I'm still at this house because I haven't figured my life out yet.
Right.
So you have to, women, we figure things out mentally. We figure out our next move. It's not manipulation, but we always got a backup plan. You got to have a backup plan. You can't just be going and telling, so and so, oh, he hit me. Where you going back at night? Home. Because you have nowhere else to go. So we have to figure that stuff out. And you're right. You don't put your parents in it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you were going right back to that man until you figure your life out, what you need to do.
Right.
And how you need to move forward.
And no one can tell you.
You got to know.
And I always tell people, even when it comes to these letters that we receive on Sanctity of Life, I always say that we can't tell you when to leave or you need to stay. And that irks me when people be like, oh, you need to leave him. Oh, I would stay in that situation. I was you. Like, no one can tell you when to leave and when to stay. That's up to that person. Right. That's why I always go back to R. Kelly's song. When a woman is fed up, she knows when it is time to leave. Mm-hmm. No one has to tell her that. And
when a man is fed up, a man is fed up.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to a point of being fed up. But someone made it, I was trying to find the comment. They said, don't talk to someone that's not a professional. This is the time where you talk to someone that's a professional. That way you don't have to tell your personal business to your family members, your personal friends. This is where you talk to someone that quote unquote has no skin in the game. They don't have anything to gain or lose. The only thing they want to do is to provide a service to you, and that is counseling, marital counseling, relationship counseling, tools, strategies to help you, in it, through it, or even to get out of it, whatever it may be. Sometimes it's not, kind of added into what you said for Patricia. Sometimes it's not that sometimes you want to leave. Sometimes you are mentally ready to leave, but you don't have a plan.
Right.
So, and sometimes you have to have a strategy to leave. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. I've had some victims say things like, well, he's not giving me $1,300 a month anymore. He's not giving me $2,000. I'm not giving him my big house by the lake. I'm like, honey, for peace, it can go.
Bye.
If you know that you have a support, sometimes people don't have a support system, but if you have a support system, if you know that this person is still financially providing, use those finances and say, I'm going to take this condo, I'm going to take this apartment for now. It's temporary. For my peace, I will live in a shoebox. For my safety, I will live in a shoebox. You know what I mean? Because you can always get things.
Right.
You can always accumulate things, but once you are drained and dead emotionally, mentally, physically, the fight to get back is harder. Once you dead, you gone.
Yeah. And I think, when it comes to that, mentally women check out, but physically they're still there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like Patricia said, you're trying to come up with a plan, and then here is all these different basically excuses. It's finances is like probably the number one thing you're gonna hear, especially when they're the breadwinner. And then if you're one of these persons and you're kind of materialistic, or whatever, and I'm not gonna be able to afford this anymore. I'm not gonna be able to afford that anymore. And then financially you got children, you got all these things. And some husband and wives have investments together.
That's right.
So or what that's what the court's for. That's what the court is for. Or whatever. But sometimes women can you cry wolf. And you got the little boy who cried wolf, and somebody keeps coming to your rescue every time you cry wolf. And after a while, they see you ain't moving. They see you ain't going nowhere. They see you staying there or whatever. You're not trying to do anything. They ain't coming back no more because I'm tired of coming over here. I'm tired of trying to come to your rescue. And then if somebody else get hurt in the process, or whatever. So that's gonna be something. That's gonna be something else. Or if you hurt them, now you crying because they don't. They hurt them. Like you don't know what you want to do. Like I said, mentally, a lot of times, women check out, but physically they are still there. But when you're going through things like domestic violence, you mentally have to decide whether you want to stay or whether you want to go.
Regardless of what I leave behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Empowerment versus enablement. This is why you have to want to be you can't enable people. You have to empower them to make the decisions themselves. Right. Because if that decision is not made from a true need or want, they're gonna usually go back. They're gonna usually go back,
and that goes for anything. And I'm big on dragging people in on your mess because I had a brother who was murdered just for that reason. His friend was in a fight. And my brother was inside the club. The friend went and got him. He came outside. And, see what was going on.
Yeah.
He got killed. Mm-hmm. The friend was still living.
Wow.
So, I'm always big, don't drag people into your mess.
Right.
Because they can be the victim.
Right.
So that's something always.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Yeah. You have to be careful, even as women getting into other women.
Yeah.
Stuff. I can remember when we used to go to the clubs or whatever, and we used to it was always a certain group of us, together because we knew if something happened, we already knew what. Right. We already knew what time it was gonna be, or whatever. We already knew who was gonna have our backs, or whatever. But you really have to be careful, nowadays getting into, get into these things and getting involved, or whatever, because, people don't fight fair. People don't fight there.
Yeah.
So, and a bullet don't know nobody. So you definitely have to be careful. And then, somebody may be mad at you and say, you was there, you didn't do this, or why didn't you, baby, I got a life to live.
Okay,
I got a life to live, and especially when you got somebody, you putting yourself in that situation, you know what it's gonna be. Why would you even expect me to sit there and, get myself involved like that?
Right.
To me, that's selfish.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Every life is about choices. It's about the choices that you make, and whatever choice you make, you can make a choice and it feels good on the front end, and you gotta pay on the tail end, or you can make the sacrifice on the front end, and you can, you'll get the reward on the back end. Honestly, it's all about choices. So, wow, let's ask her as women, why do we complain about the men and the problems that come with the men when we're the one that chose them? Why?
Wait, listen.
I'm just saying.
Listen,
They chose us.
But this is
They say they're hunters.
this is my problem with that statement, because a lot of men, when we have the show Tank T, a lot of men will come in the comments and say, it's the men that y'all choose. Y'all choosing these men. These men are not this man who we met. People put on this front at the beginning.
So why move so quickly? Why not just be in the stage where you're waiting and you're observing and you're watching and you're praying?
You can do that all you want.
This is true.
It takes 3 or 4 years before you
Longer than that sometimes. Longer than that.
Please say so.
So by no means am I saying that. There's some things you can find out about. Oh, I don't even want to get started. But I totally understand where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, the reality is you said they chose us. We accepted it.
Yeah,
We accepted the
because
choice.
it looked good, and it felt good, and it was all good in the beginning. So,
right, it was all good at the beginning,
and that's what
then
people
this-
change.
right.
We
So
change.
I don't like that statement when they say, "Well, you chose him." No.
Well, y'all chose each other, really, because nobody can make you do anything by force.
Yeah.
Men say they're hunters. They chose us.
I don't want anybody to hunt me.
Can I say this? We live in an era.
Come to the mic.
We live in an era where women are picking men.
Okay, that may be.
That don't work.
That may be true. Women,
Yeah.
okay, Herman said that we're living in a time where women are choosing men. That may be true. But that man that we're choosing is gonna put on the front.
I think we all kind of tip.
Y'all don't know how to pick.
He's gonna pick on.
Y'all don't know how to pick.
He's gonna put on.
Y'all don't know how to pick.
He is gonna put on his best.
That's the
We all
problem.
do
Y'all
it.
don't know how to pick.
Okay, well, we all do it. What about y'all? Hey, Herman,
So I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what Herman said, and I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. So we're in okay. So number one, ask yourself, okay, we are choosing these men, regardless of what it is. Number one, where are we choosing from? From what place, mentally, emotionally. A lot of times when we're choosing from a hurt place, a broken place, a not healed place. And what about this? Has everyone seen that post where there's been a influx of women proposing to men?
Yeah.
Have y'all seen that?
Yes.
What do y'all think about that? Everybody, y'all chime in the comments. What do y'all think about a woman proposing to a man? Why are you for it? Why are you against it? What's your thoughts? What do y'all think about that? Come on, I want to hear, because I got chewed. That's another post I got chewed up about. Like I will drink the water from the sea before I propose to a man. And I got my beliefs as to why I feel that way. I'm not proposing to a man. To me, it's desperation. To me, it's out of order. I got my reasons and my beliefs as to why I would not propose to a man. He's surprised, but I'm surprised. He said, he that finds a wife finds a good thing, obtains favor from the Lord. I'm the favor. You got to have the vision and the eyes to be able to find me. And if you think you found me, then you need to lock me down. Okay? My goal is marriage. Okay, so everybody's goal is not marriage. Patricia said it, but that's my goal. I want to do married people things.
And I feel like that's not only the biblical way, that's the traditional way.
Yeah.
Like we all we all see that men propose to women. Like you don't really see the women proposing to men. So we're definitely looking at that as, okay, well, this is how it's supposed to be done. But a lot of people are not living in that era. A lot of people are, it's 2023. A lot of people are doing things differently. That's just like people people aren't walking down the aisle with tuxedos and wedding dresses on. They coming down the aisle with sneakers, and I mean, these times are changing. So I guess the modern day women are looking at it as, if a man can propose to me, I can propose to
You
her.
tiptoeing, cuz. You tiptoeing.
What
are your personal thoughts?
My personal thought. I'm with you. I feel like a man should propose to a woman. That's me.
Why would you propose? How about this? Not that you feel that the man should propose. Why would you not propose to a man? Why would you not propose to a man?
Yeah.
No, don't give her that. Don't give her that.
I definitely was gonna say that. I feel like it's the traditional way that a man is supposed to propose to the woman.
Okay.
What about
Miss Tangy T? You have seen marriage model growing up. Your parents have been married for how many years?
Yeah, like,
so is it really just traditional that that's been modeled before you? That's been modeled before you. How much does what you see in your environment play a role in your decision to not propose to a man?
So it plays a big part of it. A big part. Like, that's how I was raised. Like, not so much as it raised, but like you said, I see it.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, like I saw that the man's supposed to be the head of the house.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that the man's supposed to be the provider, the protector, and all of that stuff. But I'm just saying, the modern day one, they're not looking at it. But me, I'm with you. I prefer that man to propose to me. I'm not looking to propose to a man. I just feel like that's like not the.
What does that mean?
I don't want to say not the right way, because it's to each his own how they want to do it. But to me, I'm not getting ready to propose.
You're still not saying why you would though.
You say that now, but what if you met this man who is so in love with this man? And that's who you want to be your husband. Are you going to wait for him to propose to you? If he doesn't propose to you, you just
I made hints around like, hey, what you doing?
well, then I'm trying.
Where we going?
Well, that's
But I don't think I'm gonna like.
get down on one knee and go buy him a ring. Well, you're still asking.
And there's a comment that says men control marriage. Men control marriage. Men control marriage. There's a comment. Herman Chapman said that men control marriage. I wonder what he means by that.
Yeah, do you mean that men should be proposing to the women? Or the man should be the one to decide when it's time to get married? Like, what do you?
Women control access to sex. Men control access to marriage. If a man don't want to get married, you can't get married.
If a man
Period.
don't want to get married,
I don't care who the man is. If a man tell you no, you cannot get married.
If a man tell you no, you can't get married. Yeah, because you can't marry yourself. So yeah,
And you can't marry that.
Men control access.
Right.
Men control access to marriage. Period. I don't care how much you want to get married. If a man say no, you cannot get married. Period.
I mean,
So men control that.
Well,
so
and same for women.
Women control access to sex and reproduction.
We're gonna need you on the mic, sir, because we can't hear you.
Okay,
we
we
can't
can't
hear you.
hear you. Say no as
So
well.
come on, let's focus. I want to get on one thing before we leave my.
Okay, cool.
All right. So I've been hearing this word for like the past year.
I'm scared.
A woman's worth.
A woman's
I want to hear from you all. What does that really mean? What's considered a woman's worth? What is y'all worth? And then we're getting out of here because we're like past. I mean, we can go on all night, but I know Herman won't like that. So whoever want to start first, like, what is your worth? And I so want to get on, what are you bringing to the table? Because we're hearing that a lot.
You're tying it together.
Like, what are you bringing to the table? What is your worth? Okay, we'll go there. If anybody wants to.
Tasha Looney, she ready.
We're going to run this card.
I mean,
as far as I'm concerned, and I can only speak personally, when I think about my worth, I think about, I think about my mindset, number one. And I know what I bring to the table. I know what I'm capable of. And I'm one of those persons that I encourage people. I'm an encourager. I empower people. And I feel like when it comes to a lot of those things, and especially when it comes to I'll say my husband. I'll just use my husband for example. Or whatever. There's a lot of things that I say to him, and there's a lot of things that I tell him, or whatever, and he may not agree with it at that moment, but later on he'll realize he said, baby, you said that, or whatever. And a woman have to know their worth regardless of how anybody else see her, how anybody else view her. You have to know and understand, because some people, they'll walk with you your whole entire life and really and truly not realize your worth until you're not there any longer.
Right.
Until you walk away. A lot of times people don't, I really didn't understand what I had. I really didn't know, what was inside of her. And that's a lot of times when I think about my worth, I think about what is planted on the inside of me. I think about what God has placed on the inside of me. And to me, that's worth more than anything that I can honestly sit here and think about. I know what I'm worth on the inside. And sometimes there are certain things, sometimes we work so hard to make other people see that, or whatever. And that's why I don't worry about nobody validating me, because I know what I'm worth. And I made a post on Facebook last night after my birthday dinner, and I said that I was in a place and in a space called no longer. That's where I'm at. I'm in a place called no longer. So no longer, there are certain things I'm not settling for. There are certain things you're not going to be able to come to me and tell me. There are certain things that you're not going to be able to do to me. There are certain things that you're not going to be able to say to me, and I don't say anything back. I'm going to stand on what I know. I'm going to stand on what I believe. I'm going to stand on what the truth is, and I'm going to stand on my truth. Whether you agree with it or not, that's up to the person. But I know my worth, and until we as women understand our worth and know our worth, we're going to start settling for a lot of things, and we're going to start believing some of these things that other people are saying. And that's why some of us as women is not strong as we could be and strong as we need to be. But we have to let those things fuel us. A lot of times we don't let those things fuel us. We take it and we get discouraged about it. We get disappointed about it. But I'm gonna have to go here.
Go.
But in the Bible, when it talks about Hannah and Peninnah, Hannah allowed what Peninnah was doing. She kept provoking her, but she allowed that to fuel her.
That's right.
And it fueled her into prayer. And that prayer got her the answers that she wanted. That prayer got her the son that she wanted. And she didn't sit there and she didn't keep going back and forth with her. She didn't keep trying to debate with her. She did what she knew what to do, and that was get on her knees, and that was pray. And she was able to get the answer. But sometimes we let some of the things that people say, we got to learn how to let that provoke us to our purpose. And we don't do that a lot of times. Because like I said, we get discouraged about so much stuff, or whatever. And then we start feeling down. People, she going to be just like her mama. That, her mama was a hoe, I'm going to say it. The daddy was a drunk. And we start believing. We start believing that because we don't understand our worth. The thing is, you don't know who you are. You don't know what you possess. And once you realize who you are and you know what you possess, you ain't gonna sit there and believe a lot of stuff people are saying to you and saying about you, or whatever. Even when it comes to me, and I use myself for example, a lot of people may say, "Oh, I know her past, or whatever. Now she's a minister, and all this other stuff. Who she preaching to? Who she teaching? Or what? That was my past. I don't care nothing about that. And that's why I let people stay there. I'm moving forward. I don't care nothing about that because everything about Tasha is brand new. So I don't care nothing about any of that stuff. I know my worth. There was a time you probably could have said some stuff to me or whatever, but you can't do that now.
No longer.
That's it. No longer.
That's a sermon right there.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to get there because I ain't gonna lie. I do sometimes sit and worry about what someone's thinking or before I even post something. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna post that because somebody may take that the wrong way or da da da. Like I'm constantly thinking of other people instead of how I feel. Sure, if I feel that way, I need to start posting how I really feel, bump how they feel or how they take what I'm getting ready to post.
And they're gonna
I'm still like, listen, I'm still trying to get there. But I'm telling you right now, I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
Good.
Like
Yeah.
I feel so good in the skin that I'm in at this moment.
When I look at you,
Like-
when I text you, I said, you got this a freedom about you.
Yeah.
You look
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
There's just a freedom, and a part of freedom comes with a part of knowing your
Your
worth
worth,
is
yeah.
no longer being a people
Yeah.
pleaser.
Yeah.
No longer being a people pleaser. And to me, knowing my worth is knowing I like Tasha said, I gotta go there. Knowing who I am and whose I am.
Yeah.
Knowing my true identity and not suffering through an identity crisis.
That's it.
Not allowing people to tell me who I should be, allow people to tell me who I should not be, but what did God say about me? He said, I am fearfully and wonderfully made in his image and his likeness. So therefore, God don't change. So when I don't get it right, he don't change his mind about me. When I don't say it right, he don't change his mind about me. He don't dislike me, he loves me. And so I rather deal with a constant and consistent, accessible God who has already established my identity in him, who does not change, who does not lie, who is faithful, who is honest, who is true, those type things. He's consistent.
Right.
He knew my past, he knows my present, he knows my future. Okay, therefore, why am I going to sit there and let people dictate? People change. This world is ever changing.
Yeah, that's right.
Trends,
That's right.
fads.
That's right.
People like you one minute, the next day they don't. The same way they did Jesus. One day they said they Hosanna, Hosanna. Then they turn around and say crucify him. They do us the same way. So why would I put my identity, my hope, my trust, everything into some tiny people? Why? So I know what I bring, and what I bring may not be what my man brings, but that's where the balance comes in at.
That's
He
right.
may bring the finance, but I may bring the financial management. He may bring, he may bring the wisdom, but I may bring the understanding. It's a balance.
We help each other
Yeah.
out.
So what my work is not contingent upon who another person is or is not. However, you have to be confident in who you are. You have to know who you are, have to be confident in who you are. You have to be okay with 10 people going right.
Yes.
You got to be okay with going left. 10 people going up, you got to be okay with saying, I'm going to bow down. I'm going to bow out of this one. There has to come a confidence and an assurance and a security and a hope. But it can't be in people. Why? Because people change.
Exactly.
Newsflash, we are people. We are sometimes.
That's right.
We are wishy-washy sometimes. We are double-minded sometimes. I don't even want to trust in myself. My true identity comes from him. Once you know who you were created by and what you were created for, you're able to learn who you are. You learn that emotional intelligence, not artificial intelligence. That's when other people telling you who you should be, what you should do, where you should go.
Right.
It comes from period. I'm sorry. It comes from God.
As they say,
It comes from God.
Right.
And if you waver on that, it is all in what your beliefs are.
That's
My faith and my hope is in the one and true living God. And that's because why? I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up. The world has failed me. Okay, the world's way has failed me. Me going to the club, it felt good at the time, but it failed me. Drinking and partying, it failed me. Men, having sex with men, that didn't really love me, it failed me. I ended up with a baby daddy, okay? And with baby daddies come baby daddy drama. Everything that I did in the world, it worked but for a moment, then eventually it failed me. Why am I gonna go back to something that failed me? God has never failed me.
Right.
So my hope and my identity is in him. And because of him, he gives me wisdom. He gives me gifts. He gives me knowledge. I'm able to operate in the field of social work. I'm able to work. My gift makes room for me. That now I can bring finances to the table. Now I can bring encouragement to the table. Now I can bring empowerment to the table. Now I can bring love to the table because he loved me. I know how to love now because he forgave me. I know how to show grace now. I bring the things to the table that money can't buy. I bring tangible and intangible things to the table. So when the money is no longer, you still got the things that's going to cause you to continue to thrust and move forward. My identity and my hope is in him. Right. Because he never changes.
That's it.
Even when I do.
Right.
We all
That part.
we all been down the road where we like, look at me.
Look at me now.
Look at me. Right. We've all have past.
That's
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And if people stop judging us by our past, life will be so much better. But Patricia, I'm gonna let you go. What's your
Well, first of all, I'm not bringing a table. I can meet you at a table.
Come on.
And I'm not bringing a table.
Mhm.
We can meet at a table. We can discuss,
Mhm.
what we have in common. What I can offer you, what you can offer me.
Right.
But I'm not going to try to sell myself to
That's
anybody
right.
because, that's what sellers do.
Mhm.
They're going to sell themselves to you. And then when you buy in, you don't brought false hope, false relationship, all this falseness. So I'm not going to go out there. Well, what you gonna bring to the table? Oh, I can cook, I can clean, I can do all this stuff.
Mhm.
But when we get home, I have none of that.
Mhm.
So I'm not looking for someone to tell me what they can bring to the table. You show me what you have.
Show me.
So that's the point where I am. I look at people and see how they move and what they're doing because you can tell me anything. You can tell me a false dream.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I wake up, I'm back in some kind of wilderness somewhere.
Nightmare.
And so I'm not big on that. What you got to offer.
Yeah.
What are you bringing?
Mhm.
Let's show each other what we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we're not bringing anything. You should already have it.
Together.
And we build together.
Yeah.
Build together.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel as well. I don't think in a relationship, I don't think no one should be above one another.
Mhm.
Right.
I think we should be here together. Yes, a man should lead, but I do feel like we should balance one another out.
Right. Right.
No one
Right.
should be talking down on the next person. You know what I'm saying? Like, come together as one, and that's how a relationship should be.
Right.
And it's gonna be a moment where that woman may take the lead slightly, because you're gonna need for her to take the lead at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
stay balance.
Yeah. I was going to say I didn't see what he said, but
That's
yeah.
absolutely
That's
true.
it. That's
But you know what though, Tasha? Well, everybody, I think that, when we have that revelation, not just information is just for anybody, but revelation like, oh, I get it and I'm gonna do something about it. But
Yeah.
once we got the revelation of what a help me is, I think sometimes we as women, we forget that there has to be issues where somebody's gonna need help.
right.
And we want that man to already be there, financially, whatever, we want him to already be there, but God created us to be help me. So he may be short in that area. He may fall
Right.
short.
Exactly.
He may not know how to communicate, but we're supposed to help meet the need.
That's right.
That's
That's
why I
right.
would never understand when a woman says that if a man don't have money, like she's not gonna be there to help that man. If he falls down, like who are you to say that this man is supposed to always be up here and you're not supposed to help him when he fall down?
No.
Like,
But he can't be down without me. I mean, if we're together,
I mean,
yes,
mhm.
we all fall short.
Yeah. We all
Especially
need one
if
another.
he is the breadwinner.
Mhm.
And like the post said, I'm the help me.
Mhm.
I should already have something set aside just in case, we do fall short.
Yeah.
If he's the breadwinner, I should have something.
Mhm.
If we fall short,
Yeah.
I should have something, to lift him up. Hey babe, I got it this month. I got it this month. I can take care of this month. Don't worry about this because I got it this month.
But some women think that is so wrong. Like some women expect for that man to have it like every single time, like it's not.
And they will be outside, and they'll be without light, and they'll be without water because sometimes you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a us. It's not. That's why during my marriage I always work. I'm not gonna look for him, because one day that man can get hurt.
Exactly.
What do we have?
Mhm.
I don't have anything. I don't know how to move because I let him handle everything.
I've seen it.
You fall
Yeah.
apart because
Dependent.
you fall apart because now he's not working. How we gonna pay this? How we gonna pay that? You should have that figured out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I've known somebody in that situation where this man was taking care of everything, the bills, like
Oh no.
like every single thing. And then they ended up
Yeah.
breaking up or whatever. She didn't know where to start because everything he was doing everything. He was paying the bills. He was doing this. He was doing this. She was lost. She didn't know what to do because she was always dependent on him.
I never know how happy he was. Well, I take it back. I wonder how fulfilled he was, because you can be happy and not fulfilled.
And he,
I'm happy with my car, but I ain't fulfilled.
and that man was probably happy and fulfilled because he had that woman that depended on him. He
That's
can
a
move
different
how you want it to
perspective. There
move.
you go. That is another
Because if
perspective.
they can control the money, they can control your mind.
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't give nobody that power.
Mm.
You don't give that power away. So I'm not gonna let anybody control, hey, I gave you $5 yesterday. You don't work nowhere, you didn't go nowhere. Where's the money I gave you? Don't come asking me for
Yeah.
Not no $5.
Right.
There's some zeros behind that thing. That's $5.
Right.
You have to look at stuff like
Yeah,
that.
Right.
Well,
I
ladies,
agree.
you know, it's been what, 2 hours going on 2.5
Oh,
hours.
wow.
Yeah.
Yes, like this has been phenomenal. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
this is our first Women at the Table, and it was amazing. I picked 3 awesome women to sit here at the table with me tonight. And I appreciate y'all so much. It means a lot to me. Fellas, y'all see this? Women at the table. All right. Had a great time talking with you ladies. Any last words that you all want to say?
I guess, it's always easy to present problems. I guess I want to leave with somewhat of solution or whatever tool, if you will. The biggest thing is that whatever it is, regardless, whatever you do, whatever you say, let it come from a pure place. The reward that you get, it may not always come from the person that's standing in front of you. If you want the real sisterhood, you want the real friendship, give it, and eventually it'll come back to you. It may not come from the people that you wanted to come from. It may not come the way you expected it to, but give the very thing that you want to receive, and pray and hope that it is going to work for your good. All women are not messy. All women are not backbiters. They don't always betray. All women are not that way. Pray for your people. Pray for your tribe. Ask God to send the people in your life to support you, and you support them. And truly build friendships. You have to build friendships, and all the time friendships don't always come when you're doing brunch together, when you're doing lunch together, when you're shopping together. Sometimes you build the strongest friendships and the strongest sisterhood through hard times and hardships. So just pray for your people. Ask God to send your people, but make sure you are the people that someone else, you're the person that someone else needs as well. So, that's basically all I have. Thank you, Veronica, for the opportunity.
Yes.
It was enlightening, rewarding, exciting, and thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Come back anytime. Ladies, any last words?
Well, I just want to say, I appreciate the sisterhood.
Yes.
And getting to, I already know everybody, so I'm not gonna say get to know everybody. Having a conversation, an honest, open conversation.
Right.
And, as far as relationship goes, we all have to work towards a relationship. So we can't put that on one person. It's everybody's responsibility. It's all of our responsibility. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, I was all goody, and this man failed me, or vice versa. So, just be able to, be open, be honest, and I enjoyed it. Thank you, Veronica. I don't know if I'll be back.
Oh.
But it was a great show, and I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia.
I just want to say that nobody is perfect, and we all have flaws. Us women, we have flaws. Men, we have flaws. A lot of times it's recognizing your flaw and doing something about it. And sometimes we know we have these flaws, and a lot of times we don't do anything because we want to remain in the state that we are in. And that's just not something that I wanted to do. That's just not something that I chose to do. I know that I had flaws, and I still have flaws. And that's something that I work on. That's something that I work to do, better at. But one thing when it comes to when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriages, and I always often say that when you're talking about withdrawals and deposits, sometimes you have people that always want to withdraw.
Right.
They always want to withdraw, but they don't want to deposit anything, or whatever. And it goes both ways, and I even, I can even remember telling my son said to me, this was before he got to the age that he is now, understood, about debit cards, or whatever. He thought that I was stealing something because I was using my debit card, not realizing I had money in the bank, so I was able to use my debit card to pay for what I need to pay for, or whatever. So you can't expect to get all these things out when you're not putting anything in it, or whatever. So it definitely has to be a balance, whether it's a relationship, friendship, marriage, or whatever the case may be. There has to be a balance, and you have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to see yourself. And a lot of times we're not willing to see ourselves. We are so ready to look at the speck in our brother's eyes or our sister's eyes, but we're not willing to check ourselves, or whatever. We all fall short.
That's right.
We all fall short, and I'm pretty sure that all of us, there is something that all of us need to be working. We need to be working on, or whatever. And so we just have to make that decision to do just that and work on ourselves. We can't change anybody else.
Right.
We can't change anybody else, but we can change us, and we can change how we view some of this, stuff, that we look at. So, Veronica, I thank you for inviting me on tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I knew Patricia, but I didn't know Karan, so it's nice meeting you. So Veronica, I really, really enjoyed this. I didn't know how this was gonna go. But it went well, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of everything that you're doing. So you keep doing what you're doing. You stay encouraged. Continue to live. Don't just exist. Continue to live. And whether you see it or not, and whether you know it or not, there's a lot of people watching you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, they may not say anything. They may not come to you. They may not comment on your posts. But I can guarantee you that they are watching you.
I feel that.
So you continue to do what you are doing, and don't think twice about it. Don't let nobody dummy you down when it comes to your fitness, when it comes to Tangy Tea. All this has a purpose.
Yeah.
You're helping people. You're helping people, and this is your assignment. This is your ministry assignment. I know a lot of people, when they look at ministry, they always thinking about pulpit. No, this is ministry.
That's right.
This is ministry, and whether you know it or not, a lot of people need what's on the inside of you. They need what's on the inside of you, because a lot of people, they're not gonna go get it themselves. They look for others. And you are one of those persons that they can get it from. So you continue to be you. You continue to grow. You continue to mature. So I pray that God continues to give you strategy, continue to give you wisdom, knowledge, creativity, all those things that you need to continue to do what you are doing.
That's right.
So much, Tasha.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
You probably don't prophesy.
Ain't
Thank you so much, Tasha. I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I always say that where God leads me, I'm following, because I know that there's so much more for me to do. And God's been closing doors, and God's been opening more doors.
Yeah.
So I'm like, one door closes, another one's opening for me. So I'm just so grateful for where He, where He have me right now. Because like I said, I'm living my best life right now. I have some wonderful people in my life that I can turn to when I'm going through stuff. I can lean on, and tell my problems to. I met so many wonderful people since I've been in this fitness world. So many wonderful people. So many wonderful people since I've been doing Tangy Tea of Life, which kicked off in 2019. And I just met so many amazing people. And I know it's all God, because I pray and ask God, send the right people my way. Send the right people my way. And that's what He's been doing. The right people have been coming my way. The right people have been sticking by my side. So I give God all the praise for that. And I thank God for you ladies for being here tonight and sharing, your stories and your opinions. And God is moving. Like you say, God is moving. God is doing tremendous things in my life. So I give God all the praise for what He's doing, and for the woman that I've become. Oh my God. Yes. because I've come from I come a long way, you know, not saying that my life was bad, like, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you
Like,
mean.
I-
I'm with you.
I've come from this
You're not
place.
where you used to be.
I'm not
Yeah,
where I
but you're
used to
alone.
be,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I give God all the praise for that. You know, I wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah.
So once again, ladies, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight, Women at
You're
the Table.
At the table.
This was the first, table talk with the women. This will not be the last. So, guys, thank y'all so much for watching tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you for hanging in there for the 2 hours and 30 minutes that we've been on here. Well, we appreciate it. I'm just so, we did start a little late. So I'm just so grateful that we had so many viewers watching tonight and so many people that's going to, you know, watch, you know, the replay. But thank y'all so much. Thank you for your comments. We have to go back through the comments. There've been a lot of comments coming through. But like I say, during Tainty of Life, like I can't read the comments and answer comments and trying to engage with the panel, you know, all at the same time. So once again, I just thank God for you ladies. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And to all of you out there, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Tankity of Life Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Send your email letters to tankityoflife@gmail.com. If you would like to be a guest, if you have topic suggestions, tankityoflife@gmail.com. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.